horticulture team at Rogers Gardens, and today I'm going to talk to you about nectar gardening to attract the hummingbirds. Today we're in front of this gorgeous landscaped home. Of course, the home has been landscaped by the Rogers Gardens landscape team, and not only is it such a beautiful landscape, but they have added so many gorgeous plants to attract the hummingbirds and the butterflies, and I'm going to go over some of these plants with you today. It's so important to attract the hummingbirds into the garden, not just because they're really cute, but because they add so much into the natural environment. They are great pollinators. They are very beneficial to the garden. They eat insects, and because they have the highest metabolism in the animal kingdom, they have to be eating 3 times every hour. Their heart beats 1,260 times a minute, and they have got to constantly be eating to keep up with this metabolism that they have. So it is very important to constantly have hummingbird attracted plants here that are full of nectar for them to be able to sustain themselves. Now, hummingbirds are very visual, so you want to be planting plants that are really gorgeous deep colors like reds and burgundies and purples, because that is what's going to attract them into the garden. Now, Rogers Gardens landscape team loves to incorporate this Arbutus Marina into their landscapes. Look at how gorgeous it is. Not only does it attract the hummingbirds, but this multi-trunk right here has this beautiful shape to it, and look at how gorgeous this trunk is. This is just such a beautiful tree, and it's just loaded with flowers and then followed by gorgeous strawberry fruit that is edible for you and me too. Now, the next gorgeous plant that they've planted in this hummingbird attractant garden is the Anigozanthos, or the Kangaroo Paws. As you can see, that they've planted this in front of the window so that when the hummingbirds come and feed on it, they actually have a little show. Now, Anigozanthos come in many different colors. They have these beautiful tall jumpers in reds and yellows and oranges, but you can also get them in a smaller variety, which I see tucked over here in the landscape, are some shorter Anigozanthos, just in case you want some that are not so tall. Now, one of the highest in nectar is the pentas. Pentas are just incredible bloomers. There is the regular pentas, and then of course I see that we've got here some pentas nova. Pentas nova will bloom all year round. The only thing is that it's considered a tropical, so you want to be able to cut it back in the warm summer months, but it will feed the hummingbirds year round. Pentas nova will get about 3 feet by 3 feet, whereas some of these other varieties will only stay about 1 foot by 1 foot. But let me tell you, the hummingbirds go crazy over these in the garden. Now, I want you to notice how they've incorporated all this gorgeous Limonium sea lavender into this landscape. Not only is it adding all this gorgeous purple color, but you know, we have been talking about hummingbirds, but also wanted to let you know that this is actually considered a landing pad for butterflies. Just thought you might want to know that. Backyard of this gorgeous landscape where they've introduced all these beautiful salvias into the garden. There are so many salvias available out there, and Rogers Gardens has got a huge selection of any color and size you can imagine. Right now we're going to be looking at this beautiful one, which is the Waverly. Waverly has this beautiful kind of a white with a purple tinge to it, and I'll tell you what, the hummingbirds just go crazy over this thing. Now, hummingbirds love penstemons. Penstemons, I think, is one of their favorite foods, but penstemons come in just about every color and so many different species. This just so happens to be the ruby candles mixed in with this gorgeous leucadendron plant. What a beautiful arrangement here with these beautiful aeonium kiwis. Just the colors alone with the vibrancy here is enough to attract any hummingbird to your garden. And look look at this gorgeous salvia called Flame. This salvia is just so prolific, pretty much almost 10 months out of the year. And they've got it planted right in front of all this beautiful lavender. Lavender is a huge hummingbird attractive plant and goes very well with all of the beautiful salvias. I highly recommend planting them together. They make a wonderful plant marriage. Now there's a lot of species of Grevillea, and all of the Grevillea flowers will attract the hummingbirds, but I absolutely love this Grevillea long john. This Grevillea has the most beautiful needle-like feathery foliage. It's so airy and elegant, and it's covered by these gorgeous flowers that the hummingbirds go crazy. Once they uncurl, the hummingbirds just come and are attracted to it. It's this very high-end nectar. Although it will get 8 to 10 feet tall, but if you've got a spot for this somewhere in the garden, this is a must-have. Now, hummingbirds are very territorial. Once they pick the residence that they want to be at, it's their house. So whoever has this house is probably the most happiest hummingbirds in California. My next plant is Galvezia, which is a California native and is actually considered a California snapdragon. It is just a gorgeous plant, and after it's completely done blooming, if you just pick it up like hair and cut it off, this plant just comes back and blooms again profusely. I love the red flowers on it. It attracts hummingbirds like crazy, and look how beautiful it is in front of all this beautiful lavender and the citrus up above behind it. This is just a fabulous combination. Now, if you've got a lot of shade, don't think that there isn't any plants to feed the hummingbirds. There is a lot of plants for the shade, and Rogers Gardens has got so many wonderful shade-loving plants that attract the hummingbirds. This one right here that they have planted is a Fuchsia Firecracker. Look how gorgeous the foliage is. It just looks so beautiful in a deep shaded garden because it just really stands out. And these fuchsia flowers are just so full of nectar. Fuchsias of any sort will attract the hummingbirds, whether you have a hanging basket for one or just tucked into the garden bed. Fuchsias are just a great way to go if you want to attract hummingbirds in the shade. Now, right over here, I've got my favorite plant because I also have this at my house, and it's the Abutilon Tiger Eye. They love this plant. This thing will get about 6 to 8 feet tall, but it is loaded with these beautiful flowers all year round. I mean, this thing never stops blooming, and it's disease resistant. I highly recommend it if you've got a spot that you can let it just fan out and get nice and big up against a wall or, you know, behind a backdrop of the rest of your garden. It's just a fabulous addition to any shady garden. Once again, this is Dalia, and thank you so much for joining me today. It's been such an honor and a privilege to walk around this beautifully landscaped garden today with you. I am just so proud to be a Rogers Gardens employee because all of our products are organic, and the owners and the management and the landscape department and the horticulturists and all of us believe in sustaining and enriching our environment. We don't just believe it, but we also live it. So come on in and let us help you try to find some beautiful plants that will be bringing in those hummingbirds into your garden.